Welcome back, guys. In the previous video, we had created three different EC2 instances in AWS Cloud, and we named those instances as test, pre-prod, and prod. And in this video, we will be configuring these EC2 instances over Octopus deploy. So let's go to Octopus deploy, and we'll be going to the environment sections. And over here, we'll be having three different environments already configured because we had already done this in the previous lecture. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my test environment over here, and you'll go over here. You'll have an option to add a deployment target. Once you click on it, basically we have to select a Linux since we have spun up three different Linux EC2 instances on our AWS cloud. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select Linux over here, and we're going to click on SSH connection. So over here we have to provide the IP. So let's go back to EC2 instance console, and we're going to select this test environment, and we're going to copy this public IP. Make sure you are copying the public IP, not the private one. So once you copy this public IP, you have to go back and you have to paste under the host name, and then the port will remain 22. And now we're gonna click next. It is basically discovering that IP onto the public environment, and after that you have to fill up some more details over here. The first thing is the display name. So you have to put a name for this deployment target. What do you want to call this deployment target as? So let's call it as test deployment target. Seems good. All right. So under which environment this deployment target is going to get configured? So test is already selected over here, and next is the target role. So over here we need to define a role. Role is nothing, it's just a tag that you want to give to this deployment target. So let's give a tag is like web. Let's give it a web tag, and then over here you have to select some authentication purpose. So we need to give some account details with which this target will be connected over here with this test EC2 instance. If you remember, we already created and downloaded one PEM file which was for authentication purpose, and we named it as octo.pem, and it must be in your downloads. So what we have to do over here is we need to upload that file over here, and also we need to do account setup. So just click on this add button first. Alright, so we are on to the accounts page, which is under infrastructure tab. So what we have to do is we need to click on add account, and then you have to click on SSH key pair. Once you click on it, you have to name it. So you can call it like Octopus key. Alright, after this you have to put some description that this is an AWS key, or anything else you want to put over here into the description. The default username to connect with your EC2 instance always be EC2-user, and then you have to click on private key file. So it's time to upload the private key file over here. So I'm gonna select my octo.pem, which we downloaded while creating EC2 instance. Alright, and then you have to select the environment over here. So this key is same for all the three different instances that we created. So in this case I'm gonna select my all the environments, test, pre-prod, and the production as well. And now it's time to save this. Alright, so our SSH key pair is being saved over here, and it's tagged with the test, pre-prod, and production environment. So it's time to go back to our deployment target setup, and you have to give a refresh over here. And after that you'll be able to see your Octopus key under the drop down. Just select this, And after this, no need to do any changes as of now over here because we'll be discussing some other things into the upcoming sessions, and you have to click on save. Alright, so our test deployment target is now tagged under test environment and it is in healthy state as of now. So similarly, we have to configure pre-prod and the production as well. So we're gonna do the same thing, like we're gonna click over here and time to add deployment target, select Linux, do SSH connection, and over here you have to make sure that you are going to give pre-prod public IP from your EC2 console. Once you paste it over here, you have to click on next, and then you need to provide the display name, which will be like pre-prod deployment target. Again, we're gonna tag it with the same role, and the account, we're gonna select the same Octopus key over here, and then you have to put a save over here. Alright, so I had added one EC2 instance under the production server as well. So now it's looks like, we have one deployment target under the test environment and one deployment target under the pre-prod and one EC2 instance under the production as well. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Now we have successfully configured our environment and the deployment targets as well. And as well as we had already discussed on the accounts part where we have added our SSH key pair file onto the Octopus deploy, which helps us to connect with the EC2 instance. Thanks for watching this video.